Welcome to Nerdstalker. I'm your host, Adolfo Fronda. We attend the Mix09 conference at the Venetian in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada.
Program that we launched in November of last year. It's a global program. We launched it in 82 countries in real time, rolled it out over the latter part of the year, and it's, again, for startups all around the world. The history of Microsoft has always been based on working with partners and young companies doing interesting things with its core technologies, starting in the beginning with Visual Basic, Basic first, and then Visual Basic later on. So our goal on this BizSpark program and the latest broad offering we have for the startups is to enable startup companies with no cost access to all of our tools and platform technologies for use at any scale, full production licenses for 3 full years with no charge. Qualified startup is one that is less than 3 years old, that has less than $1 million US in annualized revenue, and is private by definition. They get nominated into the program by a Microsoft champion or a person in, as I said, 82 countries, but also a community of what we call network partners that we're coalescing in each local market. Those are entities, sometimes venture capitalists, university tech transfer offices, government incubators, angel investors or mentors who care about startups, bringing them together to help nurture the creativity of these young entrepreneurs who have great new ideas about leveraging web-based technologies for their business. We're not quite into this program 6 months, but it's really clear that by 6 months we'll be at or beyond 10,000 companies joining the program. It's phenomenal. I'd say the numbers are pretty consistent with general new company creation activities. Probably on the order of half or so are U.S. based, but then the other large markets around the world, the large, big emerging markets, if you will, the Brazil, India, Russia, China marketplaces, obviously the UK, France, Germany, a lot of high-tech startup activity in Israel and places like that, but also Romania, Tunisia. Everywhere in the world. It's really phenomenal to see this excitement. 3 years is a typical window within which a company kind of gets things going, and some of them may already be 2.5 years old when they join the program. Also, you don't have to start at 0. You just have to be less than 3 when you start. Right. But over time, it'll be the net new companies, instancing themselves using this approach, we think. But 3 years is a reasonable window. The scale and the efficiency of the new development environment and development tools, the fact that so much of the infrastructure and the hard, heavy lifting of setting up servers and hosting is all done automatically, all that kind of stuff makes it clear that within a year or so you're in the market. Within the first year or two, you're working, if you need financing for scale, you're working towards finding financing in some meaningful way, or you're getting enough traction and driving enough revenue that you've built a little business, and then it gives you a year or two to normalize your business relationship with us as a partner.
What kind of feedback are you guys getting from the startups,
Well, great enthusiasm, frankly. I think these days, entrepreneurs are looking for the most efficient way to get to market. They're looking for a level of support in the market, as well as visibility, if you will. We have a pretty good approach because we've got people in every country. For example, some of the startups that instance in Silicon Valley have all their coders in India or Pakistan or wherever, and we've got a great developer community in each of those countries where we know the talent. And so we can, to the extent we vouch for them because we've trained them and we work with them and we know their skills, we can help bring together that sort of virtual company in and around the world. So there is some benefit into into partnering with a large company like ours that has a broad, multi-million headcount professional developer community that can be helpful. One of the other areas that I oversee in the company is something we call an initiative that focuses on those local software economic issues, so how software can impact the local economy. So we have these things we call Microsoft Innovation Centers. They're Microsoft labeled, if you will, but not owned and operated. They're owned and operated by the sovereign state. There are over 100 of these centers around the world in 60 different countries. We just launched one in Jordan a little while ago, and they're everywhere in the world, and 60 countries. And these centers are focused on, particularly on the developers and the community the local needs, and so the talent exists there. And that's above and beyond what we do with our university training programs and student contests and things like that. GreenSpark is an offer that makes the non-commercial use right of our tools available to the university community, and is soon to be offered to the high school community as well.
Oh, wow.
So that is a very broad offer so that students can learn using our technology. We have other student programming contests we call the Imagine Cup. It's a big global event. It's a fantastic program. We have some other programs we call Students to Business, which are matching the student interest with local business needs. So all of this that I work on is really that, if you will, the logical extension of the entrepreneurism on top of all that for those that want to create new businesses and new companies. So it is a continuum. We're very committed to this, obviously.
Let's assume after the 3 years, what does my transition look like? I'm a successful startup.
Yeah, the first thing that happens at the end of 3 years is that you write us a check for $100, and that is the exit fee for the program. So when you leave that program, then based upon the configuration of your business,
Right.
the technologies and the services that you're using, you would normalize your licensing relationship with us, and if there were fees that would be paid on a pay-as-you-go basis or what have you, we would be working on that with you together. So we'll have a 3-year history of understanding what your needs are, and then we'll build a transition model where, you know, as a going concern, you'd pay what would typically be a fractional, you know, percentage, a small amount of your G&A or infrastructure cost, and that's typical of paying any hoster that we would naturally be paying hosting fees to, or, you know, license right to certain kinds of services that would be natural as well.
How did the startups contact you to be interested?
Sure. The best place to go is a website, one word, called Microsoft Startup Zone, microsoftstartupzone.com. And there's the BizSpark program listed up there. If you just go to Microsoft.com and type in startups and BizSpark, you'll get there as well. But that's the Startup Zone. Microsoft Startup Zone is the place where you can hang around. The companies profile themselves. They can self-profile and share among themselves. You can get a list of the network partners that can help nominate you into the program, and then you take a look at the little click-through license. You click, you get a provisioned use right to all of the software, and you can download it or go to a hoster. Many of the network partners are hosters who are already going to instance the software for you as well.
That's great. Thanks so much for your time.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks
Really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.